Well, there's so many parts to answering that question. I think the big idea, if there is the big think or the accidental happenstance, was when I was trying to solve a story problem. If a person could live forever, if a person was immortal, how would they change over time? I was curious about whether one lifetime was enough for somebody. There are some people, you know, those arrested development type men who can't really outgrow their adolescence. And I thought, well, maybe one lifetime isn't enough. Maybe you need more. So I was just thinking through, if a person could live long enough, how would they change? And that seemed like a cumbersome experiment because of having to deal with changing history. So I was trying to solve the problem, how you can have a person be immortal without having history change from underneath them, so that the story of the movie would not have to deal with the French Revolution and with the future and things like that. And then to solve that, I remembered an idea I had had about a year or two before that about a guy repeating the same day. And I realized that having a person repeat the same day turns an eternity into a circle. And that's when all the dramatic possibilities came, and the comedic possibilities, and all the resonances with repetition. So that was the idea like that. I was actually getting ready to read one of Anne Rice's novels about vampires, and I was sort of thinking about why I thought that was interesting. And the most interesting thing to me was that it was a different class of people. They were just like people, except some of the rules were different, and the most interesting one being that they were immortal, and that's what got me thinking about immortality. There, that's all of it. Yeah, well, I thought of the funny things first. The very first thing I thought of was the date scene, being able to use your superior knowledge to pick up women. And as soon as I thought of that, I knew I had a movie. That just seemed to me so extraordinarily interesting and fun and funny. So I guess I was approaching it in a comedic way. But it wasn't a genre comedy. I was thinking of it more as just a whimsical entertainment. This is one of those things that just kind of fell together. When I got the idea of a man repeating the same day over and over again, it was like January 30th or 31st. And so the first thing I thought of is, I've got to think of which day he repeats, which day is it? And so I just opened up the calendar. And the first holiday day I came to was 2 days later, Groundhog Day. And I was thinking about that, saying, well, this is perfect. It's a completely unexploited holiday. They can play it on TV every year like the Charlie Brown specials. But other things started to make sense immediately too. Like I wanted him to be a character who went somewhere and was in unfamiliar territory. If he was on his home turf with his family and friends, it would be a completely different story. And by making it Groundhog Day, I thought, okay, so maybe he's a weatherman and he comes from Pittsburgh and he drove to Punxsutawney for the ceremony. And so, and the groundhog's name is Phil, so I'll name him Phil. And a bunch of things just started falling together in that way.